It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Gitty. It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Hey! It's the 100th show. Welcome to the Gitty Gang Show here on this fine Friday afternoon. You know, 100 of these episodes. We started all of this in July of 2017. I just looked it up. July 7th, 2017. So we're over 2 years into this. 100 episodes. And I think, I hope, I pray, we've got a good one lined up for you today. Some surprises, some fun stuff, some special guests.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. It's going to be good, I think. Glenn Watt's got a fresh mug of coffee here, sporting the Gitty mug, doing good work. Gitty shirt, Gitty hat. I don't know what I'm wearing, but anyway, here's what we got for you. 100th show. See, some of our friends and fans and viewers out there, I ain't gonna lie, have put a lot more thought into this show, I think,
It's possible.
and some of these people on stage have. Several weeks ago, it turns out our good buddy Jim Burt, down there in Alabama, Mr. Roll Tide Jim Burt himself, had an idea, got a hold of Dave Gatton, about a guitar. And this guitar had actually arrived before last week's show, but we kept it under wraps. We kept it secret. Well, nothing heavy, folks.
Wow.
But here it is, the Panda-caster. 3-string, solid body, electric pickups in there, guitar. Going to be Going to be trying this out a little bit later, third half of today's show. Brand new blues song that, let's say, it follows the theme, if you will. Want to just quickly say hello to some of our friends and folks out there tuning in.
Who do you got with you today?
I thought you were going to say...
You got Rusty Taylor. You got Mike Christ. Looking at Colin McKenzie over there in the UK.
I've got my other co-host with me today, folks. I ain't going to lie.
Apple Juice. Randy Pepler, Corey Lynn, Burton Philbrook, Jimbo Slim Jim Burt, Kurt Rierick, Chuck Austin, Roustin, Chuck Austin.
Keith Rierick, perhaps our biggest cheerleader.
Hey,
every week, reminding us that he feels... Anyway.
Jittery J's out there, Corb Cole, Dano Schultz. Man, thank you very much for tuning in.
Yeah. Boy, love it. Love it. Love it.
Shout out to everyone on YouTube while I've got a second. Thank you all for joining us. Rick Stevens.
I figured out something. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's just say there might be a giveaway of sorts during this week's. Actually, you already know about that. We're going to be doing a giveaway of a fine guitar. And I think I found a way for our YouTube friends to get in on that drawing without having to go on Facebook. We'll see. I think our tablet's dinging at us.
Maybe.
D-ding, dinger, dinger.
Ding.
Anyway.
Oops, Sandrine from France.
Who remembers the one ringy dingy bit from, what was that from?
I don't know.
One ringy dingy?
Anyway.
Let's not get off track here, Glenn.
Too late.
Another brand new thing.
Just blame it all on Glenn. That's what we all do here.
Come on, Watt!
Anytime things get off
Of course, we got Nick Lanciano over there
Yes.
behind the producer's desk. Actually, I'm pointing to where he actually is. For you, he's up here past Glenn's head.
Oh, right there.
Right there. Ain't no trouble here. Anyway, if you saw the newsletter, I sent it out earlier today, just a short little email to both the Cigar Box Nation and the CB Gitty email lists. It's about this show. And of course, this show is Cigar Box Nation TV, applies to Cigar Box Nation, CB Gitty. We try to make it cigar box guitar in general. Well, came up with a new shirt design based on a theme or an idea that I can't remember who first suggested.
Del Puckett.
Del Puckett.
And I saw you out there, brother. Good to see you.
Del Puckett suggested the Gitty Gangster. Is that the official Gitty Gangster fingernail
I don't
decoration there,
know,
Nick?
Jim Morris is up there. Show us your nails.
Oh, jeez. Thanks, Jim. So anyway, Gitty Gangster. So I came up with a shirt design. We've got a mock-up view of it here that Nick can pull onto the screen. Available for $10 for the unisex one. If you want that fitted women's one on your right, it's a couple bucks more because apparently they charge more for the same thing shaped for women. Anyway, yeah, Gitty Gangster with the Cigar Box Nation logo. You can get it for $10 starting price for large, extra large, whatever, from a link that I believe Nick will paste in here. It's hobofiddle.com. It's a new site I've been working on specifically for t-shirts and mugs and some of this custom printed stuff, which tends to get lost on the main cbgitty.com site because there's so many products on there. So this separate site just for that, $10 plus like $4.99 to ship it. So for under $15 in the U.S., you can get yourself a Gitty Gangster shirt, and we might do some things in the future of like send us photos of you in your Gitty Gang shirt, and all your wildest dreams will come true. You know, I don't want to make any promises here, but yeah. Hey, I see Sheila Duffy Moan out there, good friend of ours from Dover. Good to see you, Sheila. What else we got? Boy, I've been talking a lot. What do you got, Glenn? Anything?
I got hot coffee.
Hot coffee, people. Sometimes it's really all you need.
Yes.
One other, as far as announcements go, one other thing I just wanted to point out. This week, in the last 7 days, cigarboxnation.com has reached 20,000 members. We're now at like 20,030. That's a lot of people. Shane Spiel, many of you know this, but Shane founded the site just over 10 years ago, early 2009. I was member number 53. That was right when I was getting into cigar box guitars. Did some web searching. That came up, joined. It remains the mothership, the nerve center of the homemade instrument movement. Facebook and Facebook groups have certainly gained a larger role over time than they originally had, but Cigar Box Nation, man, 20,000 members. That's exciting. It's cool. It reminds me that, you know, this whole cigar box guitar, homemade instrument concept is continuing to grow. There's still a vast majority of people in the world have never heard of this idea of building your own instruments out of cigar boxes. And for me, and I know for some of the other people listening, watching right now, cigar box guitars are not an industry for me. You hear that term more often these days, the cigar box guitar industry. Like, no, it's not an industry. It's a revolution against the music industry and what it has come to stand for over time. Big profits, cut rate, nonsense, and exploitation. Anyway, didn't mean to get into any preaching, but it happens. I hear laughing. I don't know. Hey, we got sound effects now in the studio, folks. So yes, 20,000 members, Cigar Box Nation.
It's impressive. It really is. And for those of you who aren't active on the site,
I'm not as active as I should be. I pop in and review things every once, approve new members and such. But
it really is it's a library of information. I mean,
absolutely.
Whatever question that you could possibly ever have had about building, regardless of whether it be a 6-string cigar box guitar or wiring amplifiers, whatever, it has been asked multiple times in the nation, and it's a library, an archive of answer after answer of all your most valuable questions.
Right.
So.
And especially the question, can I build an X out of X?
Right.
The answer is always yes, and you can find out how other people have done it on Cigar Box Nation. So,
it really is impressive.
So all of that aside, let's get to this awesome guitar built and donated by Reverend Todd of Primitive Guitars. You saw a preview of it last week. We shared a video he sent us. Well, it arrived in the mail yesterday, and here she is, nicely signed on the back there. He wrote a nice note. 6 strings. Here, I'll come up.
Look at that back angle on the neck.
Yeah, buddy.
Come on now.
Look at that.
Sweet.
So 6 strings, but they're put close together like they are on a mandolin, so it's like playing a 3-stringer. And we've got another video from Reverend Todd. He's showing off. We got a video Nick recorded a little earlier today, doing some picking and grinning on it. So I'm not. You can play it like a dulcimer. Play it like a cigar box guitar. It's an awesome, sounds awesome. It's got a pickup in there. All sorts of good going on. So here's the video from Reverend Todd talking about this amazing instrument that he has created.
Gitty Gang and Cigar Box Nation. My name is Rev Todd. I build primitive guitars. Happy 100th! Woohoo! The community you folks have built is amazing. The show is great. I am so happy to be a part of this. I cannot even begin to tell you how much pride I have in the fact that I'm associated with you folks in any way at all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope my gift back to everybody is well received, and I hope everybody loves it. But many, many more episodes, please.
So this fine guitar that you just saw Rev Todd talking about, this is being given away today. Next week we'll announce the winner. Anyone, here's how you enter. If you're on Facebook, publicly share this broadcast on Facebook to groups, to your own page, wherever you share it, you're entered. And remember, share it publicly. You got to select that little drop down and choose the public option so that we can see you shared it. If you are watching on YouTube, then what I want you to do is click the little thumbs up, click the like, and leave a comment. Leave a comment there on YouTube, click the like button, and I'll add your name into the list when the winner is randomly selected. And then next week we'll announce it. We'll ship this to you anywhere in the world.
That's awesome.
Anywhere in the world. We'll ship this, and you'll have this. It is fun. It's diatonically fretted, and it takes a little getting used to, but turns out you can still play chords and such, or you can do the one finger. It's very versatile. So here is our own Mr. Nick Lanciano, producer of the Gitty Gang Show, doing a little picking, and I'm not sure he quite gets to any grinning, but he's definitely picking on this fine little dulcimer guitar. very nice. I love the sound of that thing. Nick is saying he'd like a chromatic version, and I think he's right. Because as Rev Todd named it, it is the 3-string mandolin thing. Because like a mandolin, it has those doubled, those courses of 2 strings each, and it really gives it a unique sound. Being a mandolin player, I know that having those strings perfectly in unison is nearly impossible, at least for very long. But it's that just slight, the strings always being just slightly different, just gives it a roundness of sound that there isn't really any good way to mimic any other way. So very cool. Whoever ends up with this is going to be one lucky person. I ain't going to lie. But now, without further ado,
Oh boy!
oh, hold on to your britches, people.
Consider my britches held.
Britches? Where the hell did that come from? Oh, wait. I have to tune this before the next song. Anyway, Watt Corner! Yeah!
Alright, good stuff. Seriously, that was awesome playing on that dulcimer guitar. Sorry, dulcitar. So Nick did a great job on that. Rev Todd did a great job building it. Whomever, like Ben was saying, whoever gets it is one lucky dog. That's an awesome instrument. So thank you very much, Rev Todd, for contributing to the community in that manner. Now it's Walk Corner. You know the deal. I'm not going to go through it all, but I do want to say,
We got time to go through it all.
I ain't got time to go through it all. First up, we got here Marty T, who is a new member to the Cigar Box guitar community at large. Found him actually in the Friends of CB Gitty Facebook group. Marty T, and his another Marty T, and his first Cigar Box guitar. So this is awesome stuff, and I just wanted to welcome you to the community, Marty. It's good to see you out there smiling with your first guitar. Man, that you used a Delta single coil pickup on your first is pretty impressive. I can never pull that off. So good stuff, buddy. Thank you very much, and I hope that you're out there to see this. And again, welcome to the community. Next up, we have another Martin R, with his, this is his second build. And part of the reason I wanted to show it is because, well, it's Martin. And I think it's cool to have people's faces on the show. Just to show you these are the folks out in the community. And Martin built himself a nice 3-string out of the chrome hot rod parts pack Chicago kit. The Chicago kit, is that correct, sir? Chicago kit? Like, do I have the name correct? Chicago hot rod? Chicago. It's a 3-string Chicago kit, and that's what Martin built. And I think it looks outstanding. He's happy with it. The first guitar that he built was from scratch, and so ironically the second was a kit, and he really enjoyed it, thinks it sounds awesome, because it does. And so thank you very much, Martin. Next up we have from a good friend of CB Gitty, Bruce N. Bruce, we got Bruce built himself this really sweet guitar, and Nick's gonna have a close-up in a second here, but it's got this like a tin plate as almost like a resonator body, and it's of the Beatles. It's an image of the Beatles, and I'm one of the very few people out there who has nothing but the deepest respect for the Beatles, just not a particularly huge fan. But I'm still a fan of this image, and I'm a fan of this guitar. I think this is awesome. Now what you'll see here at the bottom of the image is the tailpiece, and that tailpiece has 7 ferrules on it. And that caught my eye, made me read a little bit deeper into Bruce's post. That's because this guitar can be strung up as either a 4 or a 3-stringer, because it has also on the nut, you can flip over 4 grooves or 3 grooves, and on the bridge, 4 grooves or 3 grooves. So it can be done as either a 3 or 4. There's clearly 4 tuners on the headstock, and in the next image that Nick has for you, you will see more clearly that headstock in question. And I think that's awesome. I love your branding, Bruce, and I think you're doing a great job, and I'm really appreciative that you share as many of the images as you do of your builds with us so that we can put them on our website. So thank you, Bruce. I think you're out there, and so I just want to say, again, thanks. It's good to have you around, man. So next up, we got Old Man Denton, and I can say that because he says it. So Old Man Denton has himself a sweet Cigar Box guitar, and I'm just always impressed by Eric's work, and it's Eric Denton. Eric does really nice stuff, and he just takes his time. You can tell the guy is skilled and has a lot of patience with his art, and it comes out in his builds. And this next image that Nick has for you of Eric's guitar, one of those little finer points on Eric's builds that I'm a huge fan of is he has that little brass piece. So you can see the tail, then you see the box lid, but in between the box lid and the tail is this brass piece, and it simply, he uses that to ground the strings. Of all of those problems that you've heard me playing this bass right here, this 2-string bass, and just because I unfortunately have not grounded it well, you can see if I turn it up too much, you hear the buzz. So a lot of us get those problems with our Cigar Box guitars, this buzzing sound. and this is one of the many ways, it's just something I hadn't seen until I'd seen Eric do it, one of the many ways to ground your strings and eliminate that sort of buzz. And Old Man Denton, I think you build a hell of a guitar. This, by the way, also, Eric, for all of you out there who don't know who I'm talking about, Eric is that guy who builds tennis racket guitars, and about a month and a half back, we actually had a video of him and one of his tennis racket builds. And here, you can see in this build that Eric built for a friend, as he says, one of our black soap bar pickups, which I'm really stoked about because that thing is sweet and it sounds really good. So thank you very much, Eric, Old Man Denton. It's good to have you around, brother. Next up, who do we have? Next up, Ron L. I'm a huge fan of Ron. He when he submits his photos to our website, I'm not talking about Facebook or Cigar Box Nation, I'm talking about to the website. When he submits his photos, he usually has these long stories about where it is he sourced the wood for his builds, in his area. So I did not include the story on this particular build, all that build up for nothing, but I did want to show you this because it's a water ski. He bought a pair of water skis earlier in the summer, built a lap steel out of the first, and here's the second one. I'm just a huge fan of the time that he takes, thank you very much, Nick, to put in the details and just the care into his craftsmanship. You can see he's got black CB Gitty economy tuners on there, and you can see off to the side there a little acrylic fretboard, so that when you're playing your lap steel, you can know where you should put your tone bar if you had one. Funny thing is, I know somebody who's going to be getting tone bars soon. And then you can see here on the other end of his water ski lap steel, a Juke Shack pickup that Shane was talking about for the past couple weeks. And I just want to say, Ron, that if you're out there, I really appreciate your art that you share with us, because I know that you put a lot of care into it, and that means a lot to be able to have it on the website. So thank you very much, Ron. I think you do really good stuff. Now, next up, I would just hold on to the darn list. Next up, Thomas S. I'm loving this because Thomas S. He painted something. He has a can of paint, and then he uses the paint, and then he uses the lid to build a resonator guitar, a paint can lid resonator guitar, and then uses the can to build another guitar, like a canjo, but a 3-string guitar canjo thing. This is so much of what speaks to me about what it is that you do, that we do here, that all of us in the Cigar Box guitar community do, and that is be resourceful, using the things that you have available to create working, functioning pieces of folk art, the kind of stuff that you see Jim Morris tear up on a regular basis. The guy is an insane player. But this, Thomas S., by the way, is really good stuff. I'm really stoked that you would share this with us, and that the rest of us can kind of see that it is kind of neat to be able to use the things that you have just kicking around the house to make musical instruments. So thank you very much, Thomas. Awesome. And then, who else do we have here? Janice Wilson Hughes. Speaking of tone bars, now Janice has been making tone bars along with her slides. If you don't know, Janice Wilson Hughes is the artist, the owner-operator of Evolution Stoneware Pottery. We have now been carrying at CB Gitty her slides for some time, her ceramic slides. They are fantastic. Those are not just words coming out of my mouth. Those are true statements. I own multiple slides. I know a few of you out there, several of you out there right now, own multiple slides from Janice. She does awesome work. And that she is making tone bars now is just outstanding. Tone bars to be used, for instance, on lap steels. Now, Ben talked about those tone bars last week during a little segment where we were also talking about AJ Gaither's kazoos. And so much of what speaks to me, like this is going to be a long one, so buckle in. So much of what speaks to me about like AJ's kazoos and Janice Wilson Hughes tone bars and her slides and Turkey Chicken's bridges and whatnot is that, and part of what makes me so proud to work here and to do what we do here and that the decisions that Ben makes is because we carry things that are made by you in the community. So I get all up in arms and all about being made in America, made in the USA and all that, which is great, and I stand behind that totally, but going further past that, carrying hand-wound pickups by Martin Tauber, carrying the, like I said, the Turkey Chicken rod and piezo embedded bridges, carrying Janice Wilson Hughes ceramic slides, carrying AJ's kazoos. We used to carry his guitars. It's just carrying things that you out there in the community build so that everyone else has, worldwide has access to it. Is really, really good stuff. And so this is from Janice. These are the tone bars that she's making. And Janice wrote this about those tone bars. And so stick around because I got something to say. It goes like this. Janice writes, "These tone bars are for lap steels. They are 100% handmade by me," that's Janice Wilson Hughes, "like my slides, which is Evolution Stoneware Pottery. As with those slides, these tone bars have a pleasant weight, a warm tone, and long sustain." I want to just harp on that just for a moment here. Pleasant weight. They are perfectly weighted. to be played on a lap steel, so they're not sitting heavy on the strings. They're easy to it's an easy thing to manipulate with your fingers and your hands. It does not get cumbersome. You don't tire out using it. It's got a pleasant weight. It's got a warm tone. That is the beauty of her ceramics. Unlike, for instance, although steel slides sound great, I'm spewing. It's the weather forecast up here. Excuse me. Other than like if you use a metal slide, they can sound great at times, or all the time, but they still have sometimes a shrill sound to them. Not ceramics, and not these tone bars. If you heard them last week when Ben was playing them, they have this beautiful warm tone to them. And lastly, she says a long sustain. Another thing is that a note, you can hold that slide over the string, play the note, just move the slide back and forth a little bit, and that note is going to carry out much longer than it would on steel, copper, all that other kind of stuff, even glass, I think. Ceramics just have this way about them that make the perfect sliding implement, and these tone bars are a fine example of that. Now, she goes on to read, as you can see above in one of the pictures, they have my signature, my signature mark stamped on one end. Traditionally, she's a potter, potters create a signature mark, often a symbol, and then carve it backwards, a backwards version of it, out in clay to make that stamp. After the stamp is fired, that's how we sign our work. My symbol, writes Janice, is both a J and an H together, as well as a modification of the Greek symbol for Pisces. As she is a Pisces, she identifies with duality associated with a sign, since she had an 11-year career as a chemical engineer and now is a full-time artist for 10 years. Or more than that, I'm sorry. But just that signature, that stamp, that this is my art, and that we get to carry it is really, it feels really good. She goes on to write that the tone bar, in the first picture you see the stamp, and then in the next picture you see that the tone bars are drying there after being shaped. The second photo shows tone bars after they've been fired once to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Bagonk, that's hot, kids. She writes, I carefully paint wax into which I've mixed a little blue food coloring on one, so that so she paints that wax on one end so she can see it in the clay. The food coloring completely burns off in the kiln. Now the glaze, she puts glaze on the tone bars and then fires them again to over 2,200 degrees. The glaze melts into glass on the surface and becomes liquid in the kiln at peak temperature, and any part of the clay that is touching the kiln shelf itself must be free of glaze, otherwise it'll get fired right to that kiln shelf and you can't move it off. You have to break it off. So the wax that she mentioned allows her to wipe that glaze off the end onto which it's painted after she's glazed them, lickety split in and out, good stuff, and this is what we're gonna get. I'm totally psyched about this to add them to Ben's adding them to the slides. So really good stuff, Janice. If you're out there, thank you very much. You do awesome work. And lastly, just thanks for sticking around there with me, kids. Hope we didn't lose too many of you. We got some pride and joys of Magic Daddy Simpson, Matthew Simpson down there. Thank you much, Nick. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate that. You're awesome. This is I just love seeing the chitlins. These are Matthew Daddy's pride and joy. He shared these pictures with us, with the world, and we're sharing them again here. You can see the build sticker on the left forearm there. That's some of you have those that you get in your orders here from CB Gitty. And then in the next photo, you see another pride and joy photo, and that's the other sticker, another child with the build turned upside down in the forehead. Those of you who've been watching this show long enough and have been putting up with Walk Corner long enough know that I get all sappy when it comes to familial type things. And so you almost broke out the kazoo right there. That would have been funny. but I get sappy with the familial stuff. So I'm really psyched to see to have human faces to put on the things that we do, and to realize it's not just a business. This isn't just who can sell the most guitars, or who's got the coolest thing, who's the coolest kid on the block. It's about family, it's about connection, it's about engaging with people, and it's this show that has allowed us to do it at such a deep level with you. And I'm really I know that we're not over yet here, but I just want to get it out there. We're all honored to that you would spend this time with us, the time that you do devote to watching the show, and putting that human face on it, so that we all know that we're in this kind of in together as a community is really cool. So thank you, Magic Daddy. And that has been my corner. Hey. That's what, had you only broken that out sooner, that would have been funny.
Well, thank you for that, Glenn. So now we've got a video from our good buddy Vern that we're going to share with you. And then when we come back, we're going to do a song using the Panda-caster, and you'll like it. Hopefully. I'm going to like it. So That's half the battle
There it
right
is.
there. So here's Vern, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Hey, it's Vern. Gitty Gang, congratulations on 100 shows. You know, every week I look forward to seeing that train. You still looking over your shoulder. Nick zooms in on you and Glenn. But you guys never look older. Maybe it's good living or New Hampshire fiddles. It keeps you in your prime so you can make and play them fiddles. I don't know what it is, but thank you for making my Fridays a delight. I'm gonna keep on fighting the good fight. Thank you for 100 Fridays a delight. I'm gonna keep on fighting the good fight.
Well, thank you for that, Vern. You know, he's kind of showing off there a little bit, doing the upright guitar playing. So we're joined on stage now by one of the unofficial members of the Gitty Gang here has joined us with his own self-themed shirt there, got his mask on. And so this is a little blues song that I threw together using the only blues progression and riff I know, which is the 12-bar boogie woogie. But I wrote this for you, and we're going to try to give it a little run through now using the Panda-caster. You ready there, Glenn Watt?
I'm gonna do my best.
All right. Hold on to your britches, everybody. I got the panda bear blues, been eating bamboo all day. Got the panda bear blues, been eating bamboo all day. When it gets a little boring, I like to watch the Gitty Gang. Well, people think I'm soft and cuddly, but I ain't no teddy bear. People think I'm soft and cuddly, but I ain't no teddy bear. When you see me a-comin', better run away from there. Well, I used to play a store ball, but now I only play my own. I said I used to play a store ball, but now I play my own. If you're looking for something real, you better build what you play and play what you love. We got the Panda Bear Blues, building guitars all day. They're winding pickups, you know, whatever. Got those Panda Bear Blues, building guitars all day. And you better believe, folks, I get all my parts from See Me Gitty. One more. There we go, a little bit of the Panda Bear Blues with our very own good buddy, Mr. Panda Man himself. Who is the man behind the mask? Has anyone guessed yet? Ready for the big reveal? Oh, all right. He's a little shy, folks. I ain't gonna lie. But ready for the big reveal now? 'Cause I got nothing else.
Nicely
Our good
done.
buddy, the original Marty T, Mr. Marty Tober. So yeah, Panda Blues winding pickups all day, I think, maybe it had on occasion. Glenn, Marty said he'd come down today. He brought garden produce. He brought some tasty bites, including, he brought us a cake, everybody.
Come on, I don't want to
Custom decorated with Gitty Gang 100.
Yeah.
So Marty, thank you.
Awesome stuff.
You're a good man and proud to be your friend. And yeah, it's all part of Gitty Gangery. So we've got another video now for you. Speaking of, so many, got everybody out there watching. We just want to thank you again. I think we saw Louis Lamana out there. Laurel Caldwell,
Hey!
Tuning in from literally 25 feet away. Good to see you. John Matrician, who's actually able to watch the show today because he is not at work.
Nice.
Sent me a message earlier pointing that out. Good to see you. Dave Gatton, of course, who is the builder of this fine instrument. Good to see you all out there. We now have another video for you from Mr. Jim Morris, the Yoda of homemade instruments. He's going to show off one of his new creations, I believe, and then we'll be back with possibly another special guest for you. So.
Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. I'll make sure to tune in for 100 more. Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. Grab a hobo fiddle and strum along for sure. Ben might sing a train song just for me and you. Kim Starling adding harmonies on a verse or two. Glenn holds down the bottom end on a 2-string bass. Nick pushing buttons, keeping everything in place. Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. I'll make sure to tune in for 100 more. Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. Grab a hobo fiddle and strum along for sure. If the camera rolls back to the shop, the work will never cease. Farley making sawdust with apparent ease. Get back to Watt Corner to see builds of other folks. Watch a couple of videos, that's the Gitty Gang Show. Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. I'll make sure to tune in for 100 more. Gotta watch the Gitty Gang, it is the 100th show. Grab a hobo fiddle, strum along for sure. Congratulations, Gitty Gang, on the 100th show.
Jim, thank you for that. I commented, Nick turned the volume up so we could hear it. Commented that that blows Panda Bear Blues right out of the water, I ain't gonna lie. Thank you so much, Jim. We all appreciate that. Now, I promised you, if you checked out the newsletter that I sent out and other announcements, that we'd have another special guest on the show today. And here she is, everyone. Our very own Farley has joined us on stage.
Yeah,
That's her, right? Yeah,
Hey,
whoa, wait a minute.
Yes. What is this? She's out of here.
Well, welcome back to the
Hey,
Gitty Gang,
it's
Farley.
good to be
Good to
here.
see you. We were just thinking that, do it just kind of reminiscing back over the past several years that we've kind of been doing this crazy idea that a few people with no real video or live production experience. Hey, let's do a show. It's easy, right? Anybody can do it. It all started. It's over 3 years ago now. It was back in June of 2016. Shane Spiel was up here at Gitty visiting, and he's like, "Why don't we do a live show?" At that point in time, this whole Facebook Live idea was like brand new. You had to have a special app. Forget what it was even called, but you had to have a special app on your phone and get special approval to even be able to do it. And so it was this whole thing, and we were running it from our phones. And of course, the first episode we did, we were calling it CBG TV, but realized that Cigar Box Nation TV made a whole lot more sense, because Cigar Box Nation really is, as we said earlier, kind of the mothership of all things homemade instrument-wise.
Right.
And you both, of course, remembered the second episode of Cigar Box Nation TV. Maybe some of you were fortunate enough to
Right.
see it. It was the infamous couch
Oh,
episode.
Lord. That was weird.
The four of us,
Yeah.
Glenn, Farley, me, and Shane Spiel, sitting on a couch, like all
Yeah.
like slouched together, and we like guts
it was
hanging out.
awkward.
It was
Yeah.
hard. Like, hey, you got any questions for us, everybody? And lighting was horrible. We all looked green. Oh,
That was weird.
yes, the couch episode.
Yeah.
That was, so fortunately, we haven't done that again.
Yeah.
Still got the couch.
Yeah.
It's literally not very far from us right now here in the Juke Shack. So yeah, back then, you guys weren't on every show or even all that often, because we were doing it all 5 days of the week, 5 weekdays.
Right.
Shane was doing 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was doing Tuesday, Thursday. And I don't know how the heck we did it,
That's a
because
lot.
I feel like we worked hard to pull together enough content now. Granted, I don't think then they were an hour long.
No.
I think we were going a little shorter back then, but yeah, every day of the week. So that lasted, I think, until right after New Year's. So 6 months, say 7 months. And I was like, I need a break. This is a bit much. And so we took a bit of a hiatus, and then in July of 2017, I was like, I got bored, I guess. I'm like, let's start doing live broadcasts again. And Glenn and Shane are like, oh God, here we go. So Glenn and I sat down in the original Juke Shack, built by Farley,
Right.
here,
Yeah.
about 50 or 60 yards from where we are now, roughly. I'm bad at estimating. But this is the same facade, which was moved later. But Glenn and I sat down, and it was the Gitty Guys Show, because it was just the two. Gitty Guys Show. Yeah. I don't think we had a theme song then. No, not in the
You
early
didn't?
days. No, but like the very next show, we're like, Farley should be on this, and then quickly realized Gitty Guys Show is a stupid name. It should be the Gitty Gang Show to be more inclusive. And then from then on, it was pretty much the three of us, and Nick kind of stepped in as the producer. In the early days, we had like cheap webcams. Remember the webcams?
Oh, sure.
And it was a goat show.
It was fun.
As our friend Dale would say. It was fun. It's still fun.
Yeah.
Slightly improved equipment now, but
Technology, yeah.
really not all that much, to be honest. We're not running. We've done pan shots of the studio before, and it's DIY TV. And here we are over 2 years later. It's kind of hard to believe. But during that first run of Cigar Box Nation TV, we had like Americana Month. I had the Bowing episode. Remember that?
Oh,
Bowing
yeah.
cymbals and trash can lids, and got, I think, some good stuff done. But since it became the Gitty Gang Show, of course, and now our 100th show, it's
That's
hard
crazy.
to believe. We've been doing this almost every week. Shane has taken a few of them from Casa Spiel down there in York, Pennsylvania. We've done some live broadcasts from festivals, all sorts of good stuff. Excited to be here. Glad Farley could join us today.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of people have asked over time that Farley has moved on to other endeavors from CB Gitty. We don't get to see her as often as we would like to. You've built, still exploring the tiny house ideas and
Yeah.
some travel trailer stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I built and, as you know, lived in a tiny house for a few years, and then now I'm starting to try to build them, smaller,
even
smaller
tinier,
and
like
more lightweight.
micro
Yeah,
houses.
yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool stuff.
It is. And honestly, I've been struggling with, as you know already, a lot of health issues and trying to figure those things out. And so I've kind of had to step back from, being here full time.
Active.
I
Yeah.
really miss it. And
Well, she walked in earlier and she's like, "Yay!" I'm in. We're like, "Yay!" I'm like, "I miss Farley
I
being
know.
here all the
I
time."
miss it too. I enjoy watching you guys.
Well, we try to, yeah, have fun. Keep on having fun.
That's right.
So, like back to this crazy Gitty Gang Show idea, like the question I still ask myself sometimes, I imagine Glenn and Nick ask it every week, is why? Why do we do this? You know? Because often, you know, as I said, we don't know how to run a live show. I'd like to think we know a little bit more now than we did 2 years ago, but still, there's a lot of make it up as you go. There's a lot of kind of last minute, like, what's today's show gonna be, everybody? We got enough to fill an hour, and then an hour and 10 minutes later, and we're still going, I guess we had enough.
Right.
Somehow, the time gets filled, and a lot of that is due to you. You folks out there haven't had a chance to pay as close of attention to questions and comments today as we usually do. You ask comments, we interact, you bring up things, gives us a new subject to talk about. It's really special, you know, building this community, sharing, giving back. You submit stuff to us, we share it, and it's really, as Glenn said earlier, it's this hour every week, or you know, however long it goes. It's definitely not about running the business of CB Gitty. It's about a lot more than that, and that I think is what, for me, makes it special, and in a lot of ways makes it all worth doing. You know, if it was just a cut and dried razor thin profit driven business, I'd be like, this isn't for me, man. I ain't cut out for that. I don't know how to run a business. I got a history degree. You think I'm trained for this stuff? No. But the fact that it is a family, as I saw someone throw out that it's a family. Michael Capato, I believe, mentioned that, and that it's true. Yeah. I think, and we all appreciate it. We appreciate you. We thank you for showing appreciation for us. And what else can you say? But yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
Remember
buddy.
the benchside broadcasts we did the Friday afternoons?
Yeah. Nick ran and got a 12-pack of beer, and we're gonna be at the bench for however long.
Right.
That I think was to the Gitty page. That wasn't an
that was to the Gitty page,
official.
and that was before we really started doing a whole lot of broadcasts.
Yeah. That wasn't an official Cigar Box Nation
No.
production.
But it was a precursor. Like, we had that crappy webcam set up on a
Yeah. Good
a
times.
laptop in a cart.
Making it work.
I used to like it when you come out and watch, and I would do build out there.
So you like the shows that were about you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, you're not the only one. But yeah, getting out into the shop more often.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing that. Doing more how-to bench side stuff.
Right.
Got to get back into more in that. So it's not just, we appreciate you joining us every week when it's just me and Glenn sitting here, you know, talking. But yeah, getting into more of that.
Right.
That's good stuff. So yeah, that I think that sums up all of our big surprises and special guests. Keep in mind, sharing this live broadcast publicly here on Facebook, or if you're watching on YouTube and don't have a Facebook account, do the thumbs up, like it on YouTube, and leave us a comment, you know, and you'll be entered in the drawing to win this awesome little 3-string mandolin thing cigar box instrument built by Rev Todd. And I think that brings us, we got, you know, a couple of announcements. Next weekend, it turns out, is the 10th annual Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival. You've been there.
I have been.
You've been there.
Mhm.
I've been there.
It's really cool.
Marty, have you been there? You haven't gone to that one. Well, this would be a good one to go to. Get in the world record, because they're going to try to set a new world. Well, they're pretty much guaranteed to set the world's record because it's the first attempt. But the largest cigar box guitar ensemble. John Bernick, Johnny Stompbox, is building a bunch of cigar box guitars that people can use if they don't have their own. There's a Kickstarter fundraiser that's still going for that. You can find it on the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Facebook page. To make sure they have enough guitars, but they're going to try to set the record for the largest cigar box guitar ensemble ever.
Wow.
And then once that's set, the other festivals can see if they can up the ante. Maybe Huntsville and some of the other big ones, or maybe the Maine festival, could try to beat that record each year, and it could become a little, contest for the different festivals. So that's next weekend, August 24th, Saturday in York, Pennsylvania, from 10 till 6 there at the York Emporium, something like that. And then in September, we got the Georgia Fest coming up, September 28th. All sorts of good stuff happening. I don't know if I can play the Gitty Gang theme song on this because it is diatonic. I can do all sorts of Americana stuff. But it's missing that fret to play that F, to give you the G7, which you need to go play the blues. Anyway, thank you for joining us. And we're going to see if Marty will come back up and join us now for the big send-off of our 100th show. As Jim Morris was good enough to sing, hopefully we'll be 100 more. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Hold this for a minute. Yeah. I learned how to floss, everybody!
Yeehaw!
The Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we came to you live from CB Gitty. I should have tuned this license plate guitar. Almost every Friday. Yeah, we come to you live every Friday afternoon at 2.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. If we don't see you, we don't know what we'll do. Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. The Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Whoa, whoa. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. So thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Until we see you again, we are the extended Gitty Gang. Thanks to Nick Lanciano back there behind the producer's desk. Everyone, Marty Tober, Farley, and Dreesen for joining us. Of course, couldn't do it without the one and only Glenn Watt. And I am Ben Gitty Baker. We will see you again soon. Wow. No, shit, we're back.